Previously on Tales from the 20 Side.
Despoilers! First you destroy my home, then you rip me from my forest. Now you leave traps to harm my animals. Die!
We mean you no harm.
Fuck all this, we're being shot at.
Okay, I've changed my mind. We do mean you harm.
Honestly, this is just one very big, terrible misunderstanding.
Very well, I'll leave you in peace. Standing in front of one of the boulders, a young girl wearing a blue dress, and her flaxen blonde hair kind of cascades behind her.
We're good.
Awesome. Okay, so welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom. I am your GM for this adventure and for many other adventures. I am joined today by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson.
Hello.
Mr. Neil Kelly.
Hello.
And Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Hi.
Hello, folks, and obviously the listeners can't see this, but for the first time since we've started recording from home, I can see all your lovely faces, which is nice.
It's a real treat.
We all waved as we said hello as well, which was really nice.
Yes, you waved at the camera for the listeners.
I always do it anyway. I always wave at the microphone.
Yeah.
and I do the actions when we're having a fight.
I mean, to be fair, like if you could have seen me GMing for this during the time we've been at home, you would see me getting animated and sort of doing stuff with my hands, and then realizing that absolutely nobody can see it, and then kind of stopping. But anyway, that's the pitfalls of.
Now we're on camera. I've had to get out of bed.
Yes, had to put some clothes on for the first time in 2 weeks.
That's why you don't have a camera, isn't it, Dom?
That is. What can I say? You know what we were saying last session about me wearing a crown and nothing else. It's actually true.
Crown and a cape. I thought I heard. I'm hoping. Gosh, that vision, that image in my head has just gotten a bit more.
There you go. Well, that is my gift to you for today, Stu. Hope you enjoy it. And my gift to the rest of our listeners is the continuation of our wonderful little game we've got going. So, if you guys are ready to go, I'll kick off with a recap. Okay, so our intrepid heroes, Alwyn Templeton, Brother Amos, and Otto von Niederschläger, were venturing deeper into the border wood at the behest of Captain Rokar to find this mysterious Teb Knotten and put an end to his villainy. You were woken in the middle of the night by one of your perimeter bear traps being set off. Turned out to have a wolf in one of them, but as well as the wolf, there was a very angry forest spirit known as a dryad who proceeded to attack you. You skirmished with the creature briefly, eventually forcing her to disappear into a tree.
I don't think we forced her to do anything.
I was being polite, Neil. I was being polite. Through some eventually well-chosen words, you were able to calm this forest spirit, and she left you alone for the time being. You completed your rest, and you continued on your way down the trail, led by Tenpenny the Orc, the half-orc, where eventually you came to a clearing in which stood rather a creepy-looking hut, sort of with sort of stood on legs that had been carved to resemble chickens' feet. But before you could get to the hut, you had to traverse a small maze. Is the wrong word, but there were a lot of large boulders of ice kind of blocking your path. And as you were traversing this, you came across what appeared to be a young girl who was sobbing and sort of calling out various things, never really quite looking at you until the very last moment when she looked you in the eye, told you to get away before they find you. Run. Before her face twisted into a horrific visage. These other faces lunge out at you from the icebox around you, and you were all given a bit of a scare. And that really is where we bring ourselves back in. So, adventurers, you've just had your sort of altercation with these faces. The young girl who led you into the ice field has disappeared. And a couple of you are feeling a little bit shaken by what you've just seen. So the question now is, adventurers, what would you like to do?
Alwyn has a horrible feeling he knows what these boulders are, and he'll turn to a shaken, not stirred, Otto, and say, "Do you think, Otto, you can very gently and carefully melt this boulder that the girl was digging into? I've got a horrible feeling."
Yes, you have a horrible feeling that what?
I've got a feeling we're going to find the little girl inside.
Ah. Well, yes, I will do that. I will gently make flame. Because my first inclination was to take her advice and run. But yes, I will. I'm a little bit shaken, as you can see. Yes, I will produce flame and gently melt as gently as I can. Melt the boulder.
Okay, so this is quite a thick boulder of ice that you're working on. You can certainly sit there and sort of melt through it, given enough time. It's probably going to take you about 10 minutes to do so, about the same length of time it took you to defrost the frozen statue of the guard captain that you'd found at Lady Argentia's crash site. But if you want to take the 10 minutes, you can absolutely do so.
You think, Alwyn, that's what we should do?
Yes, I do.
Let's do it then. I can't think of anything better to do apart from run.
Yes, and we'll tend to Tenpenny and try and comfort her as well. While that's happening, though, Dom, how many boulders are there? Too many boulders to count, or?
I mean, there's not. I mean, if you want to wander around this little field of boulders, there's probably about a dozen in total.
About a dozen, right? Okay. Alwyn's got this horrible suspicion that there's people inside them all that have been killed.
Okay. So Otto, you begin defrosting this particular ice boulder, and you get about 5 minutes through, and you feel the chill breeze begin to pick up again.
I don't like the feel of that. I'll carry on.
Okay, as you continue, the breeze picks up to an unbearable amount, and again you see movement in the faces of these ice blocks, and the faces lunge out at you once again. Everybody give me another will save, please. You are at if you are frightened, you are at -1.
10.
21.
12.
12. Okay. So Orwin, again, you kind of see this just in time, and you kind of shut your eyes and block out the faces. Otto and Brother Amos, you're not so lucky. Otto, you are now frightened 2. Brother Amos, you are now frightened 1. You see Tenpenny. It's strange. You've never heard a half-orc cry before, but for just a second, a small sob comes out of her, and you look at her, and she's shaking like a leaf, and there's a trickle of a tear running down from her right eye. Lady Argentia, by contrast, similar to you, Alwyn, she closes her eyes and she shuts out the fear.
Alwyn will go over to Tenpenny and put his arm around her and say, I know this is really, really difficult, but you're being ever so brave. Ever so brave. You're standing your ground in difficult odds. You should take pride in yourself. It's your orcish heritage shining through the best of the orcs.
Yeah, I know. It's just we've got a thing about spirits in our culture. Spirits are revered, and when they're restless like this, it means they're angry.
I completely understand. I revere spirits myself.
Yes. In fact, we will be doing some revering later, I think. But for now,
we almost done here. Can we get out of here?
Lady Argentia, why don't you take Tenpenny just out of the way of these boulders a little bit while we just finish up here. Gentlemen, are you both okay? You're looking quite.
No, I'm not okay. I want to just run.
I don't like it here at all.
Okay, and Lady Argentia takes Tenpenny and sort of says, "Yes, I will gladly step away from here for a moment." And she leads Tenpenny kind of further beyond towards the base of this hill where the hut stands on.
Okay. Brother Amos, why don't you go with the ladies and look after them? I'm so sorry, Otto. There's no one else that can do what you're doing.
It has to be me, doesn't it?
You're invaluable to this effort.
Can you see anything yet?
So you continue to work away with your produce flame, and towards the end of this 10 minutes, you do start to melt right the way through, and it becomes apparent that this ice block is empty. Just as you're getting towards the end of the 10 minutes, once again you feel this chill breeze begin to blow through the ice field.
Okay, let's go find the others.
Yes,
very quickly.
let's run. She said run. We'll run.
Yes. Well, let's run to the others. Yes.
And then keep running.
Okay, I got that wrong. All right. Yeah. Never mind.
So you quickly catch up with the others who are a little way in front of you. As you run out of the area of these ice blocks, you sort of look back, and as you leave the area, you feel the chill breeze die down and kind of revert to its normal level of cold with the snow on the ground.
Are we going to have to come back this way, or?
Maybe we shall see. Okay. Well, times are pressing.
Let's move on and get away from this place as quickly as possible.
Okay. So you kind of move on past the ice field, and you catch up with everyone else. Kind of from where you're stood, to your right, you can see there's kind of a gentle slope that leads up this small hillock, presumably to the front of this hut, and you can see off to your left-hand side, sort of about 60 feet to the left, you can see there is looks to be another path heading deeper into the forest, and it looks like there's something scratched into the snow, but you can't quite make out what it is from here.
Is that the way we have to go? Tenpenny?
Yeah, that's the way to Teb Knotten's place.
Okay, actually, before we go any further, frightened condition, Dom, would a rest cure it?
So
like a 10-minute rest.
So ordinarily, the frightened condition reduces by 1 every round. In this case, due to the nature of that effect, you are all frightened for 1 hour.
Am I frightened for 2 hours as I am frightened too?
No. You are frightened 2 for 1 hour.
Right.
Can Owen creep forward to see if he can see what's scratched in the snow?
Okay. You get a bit closer. It looks like quite large lettering. You gather that. I mean, you could take the time to inspect it from the ground, but you gather it might be easier to climb the hill, go behind the hut, and kind of look down on it, if that makes sense.
I had a horrible feeling I'd have to. Any volunteers to come with me?
I'll come with you.
Maybe. Okay, let's go. Let's go up the hill so we can see what's written. If it just says no trespassers, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Okay, so you head up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way up the slope of the hill, and yeah, you find yourself about kind of 10 feet above the forest floor, looking down on this field of ice blocks on your right hand side, and you turn to the left, and suddenly you're looking straight into this hut. You can see the doorway is empty. There is no door, and you can see inside it looks to be quite a large wooden chair. You know, well, I say quite large, like a normal-sized wooden chair, like a throne type thing with armrests in the centre, looking out towards the direction that you've just come from.
Not going near that.
Okay. As you make your way past the hut, towards the back of it, so you can get a view of this lettering, you do see something is sat in a chair.
What is that?
Are you sort of stepping up to take a look, Brother Ernst?
I'm going to step up and take a look, yeah.
Okay. As you kind of get towards the doorway, you see that sat in this chair is a small humanoid shape. And it looks... At first glance, it looks like it might be a porcelain doll of some kind.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
As you continue to look, you sort of look a bit closer. You see that this doll is wearing a blue dress and has long flaxen blonde hair.
The little girl mentioned a doll, did she not? But it looks like her.
She mentioned she didn't want the doll.
She didn't want the doll. I thought she wanted us to give her back her doll. Did I misunderstand that situation?
No, she didn't. Yeah, she said, no, don't give me the doll. Or that's how I remember it anyway.
Something about not wanting the stupid doll.
I mean, it has been a whole week, not just, 10 minutes.
What do you think, Alvin?
Do you know what I said? Under normal circumstances, that hut would be interesting to investigate, but Yes, maybe not right now. Especially with Otto and the ladies back down the foot of the hill. No, I really don't want to go in that hut right now.
Okay. Brother Amos, are you going inside?
I'm going to get a little closer to the doll and have a little further inspection.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Ten.
10, okay. You see a couple of things. The first thing you see is that the rest of this hut is completely empty. This chair and this doll are the only things inside it. As you do creep a little bit closer, you kind of focus in on the doll. As mentioned, the doll itself has kind of the basic shape of a young girl, but you get closer, and the skin of this doll looks as though it resembles someone much, much older. Almost like a crone.
No. And Brother Amos is just going to turn around and walk out.
Okay, and yes, easily done enough. You rejoin Olwyn, and the two of you make your way to the back of the hut. And as you get to the back of the hut and you look down on the pathway at these markings, you can see that they say, in common, they say, "Turn back before the winter devours you." And you notice it's written in the same hand that the sign on the snowman was written on.
I mean,
It's a bit like no trespassers then.
I don't think turning back is an option at this point.
No. What did you see in the hut?
A doll with strange wizened skin.
Are you sure
It looked.
was a doll?
I didn't stick around long enough to find out. I'm still feeling a bit shaken from
Yes.
what happened with the boulders. I mean, we could both go and investigate the doll.
Dom, putting it together from what Amos has said, putting that together with what we experienced around the boulders, would there be any kind of religious connotation? Can I make a religion roll is what I'm asking.
That's a good question. Let me just have a little look.
I'm trained in occultism.
Okay. Yes, Brother Amos, you can give me an occultism roll. Olwyn, sorry,
Nope.
there's nothing religious that you're kind of pulling here.
That's fair enough.
25.
25. Nice, okay. You don't know the specifics, Brother Amos, but you have heard that there are some occult practices that can infuse a person's soul into an object like a doll.
Okay. So, I have heard that there are some occult practices where a person's soul can be trapped inside a doll.
So it's like
A curse.
Chucky. Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chalk Ice. There you go.
So I've seen that play as well.
Yes.
Actually, with with that information, Olwyn, you can now make a religion roll.
Okay. 12.
12. Okay. You don't sort of hearing this. Obviously, it doesn't apply specifically to you as you're not a follower, but you know that this kind of magic, this kind of practice, is abhorrent to those who follow the goddess Pharasma.
That would make sense, yeah, because it's kind of it's cheating death. It's another soul spared from the boneyard. Yeah, no, I think we just note out of there.
Fantastic.
I agree.
We'll maybe come back and address this at a later date, I think.
Mhm.
Especially if it's the little girl's soul and it was against her will. I think we should deal with this. I think we should deal with it anyway, but not yet. Not yet.
Okay. So, what's the plan now? Are you rejoining your companions?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we should rejoin them and move on.
Swiftly.
Very swiftly.
Okay. So you rejoin the rest of the group, and Tenpenny pipes up and says, so what did you find up there?
Not good. Evil stuff. Brother Amos is the one who knows more about this.
I think it's best for all of us to just move on immediately.
Gladly. All right, I'll lead the way. What's your marching order here, folks?
Alwyn's happy to go up front.
I'll go
Behind
behind
Tenpenny.
Alwyn.
Are you walking single file, or are you walking kind of 2 by 2? Because the trail's about 10 feet wide at this point.
I'll walk next to Alwyn. Up front with Alwyn.
Okay.
I will walk behind with the princess,
Sure.
with the
Sure.
lady.
Actually, I'd strongly suggest Lady Argentia and Tenpenny take up the rear, because they're good fighters. So if anything attacks us from the rear, and Otto, you stand in the middle ready to throw your fireball.
Yes, but Tenpenny knows the way, and she's been here before. And she will know what, if we come across things, she'll know what they are, I hope.
Well, that's that.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, and Alwyn will swap places with Tenpenny.
So Alwyn's going at the front.
No, Alwyn will go to the back with Lady Argentia.
I understand. Okay.
I'll be up front with Tenpenny.
Okay. So you begin walking down this path. As you step onto this this kind of lettering that's been scratched into the snow, you hear a very sharp ringing sound, like a ring, and then there's the sound of what sounds like breaking glass and a flash of light. I need a reflex save from everybody, please. If you're frightened, you take a penalty equal to your frightened value.
28.
Nice.
20.
I'd get +2 against spell saves.
This is a spell, yes.
And it's a reflex save you said you wanted.
Yes.
So with the +2, that is 14.
Okay. So 14, you'll be pleased to know, is exactly what you needed there, Olwyn. Jesus.
Thank Kate and Kalian.
Okay, so what were the... Olwyn, what was your save?
In total 14.
14, okay. There's a blast. As this sound of breaking glass happens, there is a quick blast of sort of icy air, and you feel sort of sharp shards of ice come flying out of the snow and sort of cut you all up quite nastily. So, Orwin, your save is 14.
Yeah.
You take 2 points of cold damage. Brother Amos?
Mm-hmm.
What was your save?
28.
You take no damage whatsoever. You see the snow bulging kind of just as this is happening, and you throw yourself to the ground almost instinctively, and these ice shards just pass over you. Otto, what was your save?
20.
You also take 2 points of cold damage as you sort of dodge behind the worst of it, almost using Orwin as a human shield. Who in turn,
Again.
Okay. You see that Tenpenny and Lady Argentia aren't quite so lucky. They both take a nasty blast. They sort of turn to you, and you see that their faces are all quite bloody. Oh, I don't like this forest.
I'm not a fan either.
Are either of you seriously hurt?
Tenpenny's looking like she's at about half her hit points. Lady Argentia's doing a little bit better.
Okay, I'll do battle medicine on Tenpenny.
Okay, sure thing. What's the daily use for that done?
16.
It is a success, so roll your medicine check. Your 2d8, sorry.
9.
9, okay. That puts her back up quite nicely. Okay, so that's happened. As these kind of ice shards fire out, you hear the sound of sort of snow sort of thudding back onto the snow from where this had happened. Nothing else attacks you. What would you like to do?
Make sure we don't step in any more lettering.
It's worth noting that when this went off, it destroyed this all the lettering that are there. So the whole area of the snow kind of erupted.
Okay.
So Tenpenny, have you seen this before?
Circuitous route round.
Did this happen last time, Tenpenny? Is this normal?
No, I mean, the one time I came here, there was this lettering on the ground, but we were with the Zoes. I think she said something in a language I didn't understand. Maybe a password or something?
Safe word.
I still think we should go round where the lettering was.
Yes, I think we should avoid treading on anything.
You can do that easily enough. The as mentioned, this path is about 10 feet wide, and you quite easily sort of step around it and step back onto the path. Okay, so are you maintaining that same marching order, or are you changing it up?
Maintain.
Okay, so you continue down the path with Tenpenny again leading the way, and as you're walking, Tenpenny begins to engage a little bit in conversation. Partially trying to steady her nerves. You think you can see that she's still shaking quite visibly, but she starts to say to you, "So, once you've done with Teb Knotten, are you going back to the captain?"
Well, it's on the way. Mission accomplished. He might have a reward for us.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's certainly one way of putting it. Listen, I kind of like you guys. Would you do me a favor if you get back there?
What's that?
Yeah, could you tell Captain Rokar that I died?
Well, it might actually be true at the rate we're going.
Yeah, well, that wasn't quite what I meant, but if I survive, of course, I do intend to survive. But if I do, could you tell the captain that I'm dead?
Can I ask why?
Oh,
I mean, must confess, yeah, I'm fixing to get away from him. You see, he's a bit of an odd sort. Doesn't do honest banditry, if you know what I mean.
Honest banditry.
Oh, well, yes, you don't need to spell it out for us. I quite understand. I'm not too taken with him myself.
He's a bloody man. Does weird things with bodies. I don't like it. Been trying to get away. I've been trying to find a way to leave for a while, and well, now I see my chance. So the way I see it, once I've led you to Teb Knotten, you do what you got to do, and then I disappear into the forest. How does that sound?
It seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Yes. I will honour your wish, Tenpenny.
Appreciated. Now, come on, let's move forward. And you begin sort of walking back down the path. Tenpenny did tell you previously that you're not far away from Teb Knotten's place at this point. From the creepy hut, she mentioned you're maybe 2 or 3 hours walk, so you're getting fairly close. So you continue down the path. You're walking for perhaps an hour or so. After this period of time, you do manage to regather your nerves, and you lose the frightened condition if you had it.
Okay.
I'm feeling much less frightened now.
Yes, I'm feeling a lot braver.
Alwyn, give me a perception check. As you're walking along.
I'm taking up the rear.
Yes.
Okay. 15.
15. Okay. As you're continuing down this path, shortly after you start feeling a bit better, Alwyn, you hear something behind you.
Everyone, shh! I heard something. I'll strain my ears to hear.
Okay. It sounds like very soft footsteps in snow.
Sounds like very soft footsteps in the snow.
And
Everyone at arms.
they are getting closer.
I will load my hand crossbow.
I will ready my fists.
Draw the rapier.
Okay. Are you turning around?
Oh yes. Oh, sorry. I would have turned around instantly. I'm hearing it.
Okay. In that case, if you're turning around before all that happens, you see standing in the middle of the path, apparently making no effort to hide whatsoever because it rolled a natural 1. You see the doll standing in the middle of the path.
Oh shit! Hello.
And as you turn around, Olwyn, the doll stops. It lifts up its hand, and you see a blue ray shoots out from its finger towards you. Ooh, that's a natural 20. So you're going to take. Yeah, this thin blue ray streaks out from its finger and catches Olwyn square in the chest. Olwyn, you take. Sorry, bear with me. You take 8 points of cold damages, and your speed is reduced by 10 feet for 1 round.
Okay.
And let's all roll some initiative, folks.
21.
What are we rolling? Sorry.
Initiative.
Initiative. So perception.
14.
14 for so
7 for Alwyn.
This dice is doing me well today.
go.
Do you want to swap?
So actually acting first with another natural 20 is the doll. And you see that the doll doesn't immediately do anything else, but you do see it lift off the ground and it rises about 10 feet in the air.
Oh, fuck.
Some creepy shit like that. It was that Bride of Chalk Ice joke, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay, that is going to end its turn. Brother Amos.
I think I am going to just run up to it and punch it.
Okay, so it's going to be yeah, one move can get you kind of, you would be adjacent to it. It is 10 feet in the air, so you're going to need to jump to try and hit it.
Oh. Can I jump 10 feet in the air?
I mean, it's going to be an athletics roll.
Okay, alright, let's try that. There's athletics. There it is. 8.
8. Not enough, unfortunately. You sort of run towards it, you step to spring, and then the snow skids from under your feet, and you almost fall over.
So that's 2 actions, yeah?
That's 2 actions.
So with my third action, I will ready my hand crossbow.
Okay, you sort of seeing how high it is, you draw your hand crossbow and get ready for another round. We're round to Lady Argentia, who turns round. You see her eyes go wide, Olwyn, and she just goes, "Oh, what the fuck! I don't like this place anymore."
I never did.
Rather than going for her longsword, she goes for the crossbow that you retrieve for her outside the High Sentinel Lodge, Olwyn. She draws the crossbow, loads a bolt or a quarrel, whichever of the two it is, and she fires at the doll. Oh, and she gets a good strike. You see this crossbow bolt slams into the doll, dealing a little bit of damage. The porcelain skin cracks slightly, and you see some of it chip away onto the ground. That's the end of her turn. We're round to Otto.
I will produce flame. Am I near enough to set it on fire?
Oh yeah, you're hang on, 5, 10, 30. You'll need to move a little bit because obviously she's 10 feet in the air, so it skews it a bit slightly.
Right, I will move up.
Okay. Yeah, you move a little bit closer, and you cast Produce Flame.
Produce flame.
Okay, so for Produce Flame, it's an attack roll. So roll your d20 and add your spell attack bonus.
Oh, spell attack. That is 22.
Or 22 is a hit, so roll the damage there, Otto.
And don't forget to include your spell modifier.
On the damage.
Oh yes.
What is the spell modifier? Is that the DC?
No, it's your charisma bonus for your spell casting.
Charisma bonus. That is 6.
6 points of damage. Nice. You streak out with this ball of fire, and it strikes the doll. You see the fire washes over it. The dress singes and burns a little bit, but it definitely seems like it took some damage from that. That sounds like your turn, Otto.
That is my turn.
So we are. Ow! I just punched my coffee cup. That hurt.
What's that coffee cup done to you?
Oh, I hit my funny bone as well. That was painful.
It's no laughing matter.
Oh no, it isn't. Really isn't.
Well, not for you anyway.
No, it's not. For you guys, maybe. Anyway, end of Otto's turn. We are round to Tenpenny, and Tenpenny again kind of turns round The eyes go wide. Oh shit! I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Tenpenny also takes out her crossbow, loads it, and fires it. But as perhaps it's a trauma response. As she sees the doll, she almost immediately begins shaking again, and the bolt flies sailing over the doll's head. It's the end of Tenpenny's turn. Olwyn.
Okay, gonna drop the rapier, draw the longbow, and fire.
Okay, roll the attack.
18.
18 is not enough to hit. You think you have it, and the doll kind of almost at the last second, the arrow sailing towards its face. The doll sort of with a quick snap of its arm just bats the arrow to one side.
Okay, and with my last action, I'll try and fire again.
Okay, roll the attack.
Oh no, 5.
5. Yeah. Again, this time you try to compensate, and you end up firing it too low, and it streaks underneath into the snow. Okay. End of your turn, Olwyn. We are around to the doll. Brother Amos, you see the doll. It draws what looks to be quite a cruel-looking dagger from somewhere on its back. Comes down 10 feet to about your eye level, and it proceeds to try and stab you in the face. That's going to be a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. As this dagger stabs into you, you feel a burst of intense cold. You take 4 points of cold damage as it pierces into you.
Can I use liberating step, or should I have called that before?
I'm gonna just have a check on the wording on liberating step.
Did you say 4 points of damage?
4 points of cold. It might be going away. Bear with me.
Character sheets get tight this one.
Yeah, they get like that after a while.
I've just found a little tiny lump of dried dough on it.
The trigger for liberating step is an enemy damages. So yes, you can do that too.
Okay, I'll do that.
So Amos gets resistance to all damage against it equal to 2 plus your level, so resistance 4, which means, Brother Amos, you take no damage from that.
Oh, wonderful.
However, as it stabs into you, this cold sensation does kind of spread throughout your body. I need you to give me a fortitude save, please.
Fortitude save. 12.
12 is exactly what you need. As you feel this cold sensation wash over you, your body starts to lock up slightly, and you grit your teeth, you flex your muscles, and you push past it. You are not affected. Well, that was a bad thing there. Okay. And the doll's going to use its last action to float back up 10 feet. That's the end of its turn. Brother Amos.
I'm going to fire my crossbow at it. 18.
18 is not enough to hit. It sort of darts up a bit quicker than you were expecting, and the bolt streaks just a bit underneath it.
Okay. Try again.
Okay. So second action is load the crossbow. Third action is fire again.
Yep. 9.
Yeah. Similarly again, you can't. It's quite. Although it is it's a doll. It's quite nippy, and it seems. It seems to know where your bolt is going before you fire it. But that's the end of
That's the end of my turn.
your turn. So we're back round to Lady Argentia, who kind of steps off the path into the tree line to get a better angle, and she reloads her crossbow and she fires again. This time not so lucky. The bolt, you see it catches on the dress of the doll, but doesn't seem to impact the creature itself. The third action, you see she takes out another bolt and gets that ready to fire. Otto.
Am I within range of an acid splash? And can I do so without splashing anyone else?
Do you know what? I think you actually can. Acid Splash, probably a range of 30 feet, I want to say. It's a cantrip, so let's have a little look. Acid Splash. Yeah, you are in range, and because it's 10 feet in the air, you can do so without harming Brother Amos.
Good. I will try an acid splash on this evil doll.
Okay, so roll a spell attack for me.
13.
It's not enough. The glob of acid goes sailing past the doll and lands with a splash and a hiss on the snow beneath it.
Well, then with my last go, I have my loaded hand crossbow. I will shoot a bolt at it.
Okay, roll the attack with a -5 because it's your second attack of the turn.
18 plus. That's 18.
18 is not enough. This thing's quite hardy. It seems quite difficult to pin down. End of your turn there, Otto. We're round to Tenpenny, who is also going to reload her crossbow, fire, and then reload again. And this time you see Tenpenny kind of takes a breath to steady herself, and she launches this bolt, which strikes the doll quite neatly in the chest. You see there's quite a large crack beginning to form in its face, but it's still there, it's still going. End of her turn. We're back around to Olwyn.
Would Olwyn know whether or not this doll would count as undead?
I'll tell you what, you can give me either an Arcana check or a crafting check, whichever you prefer.
They're both -2. It's let's say Arcana for flavour. And I rolled an 8, so 6.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know. It's probably a fair assumption, but you don't know.
Okay. Without knowing completely, then I'll take the chance. Presumably, Alwyn can get underneath this doll with one move.
Yes, you can.
Okay, do that. And jump up with the intention of casting Lay on Hands.
Okay. So first, give me the athletics check.
Okay. 11.
Okay. Yeah, it's just enough. You're able to get up there and just kind of caress the bottom of its
Caress the
feet.
bottom.
Caress the bottom.
Alwyn, what are you doing? This isn't the time or the place.
You just managed to catch the bottom of its feet, and yeah, you cast Lay on Hands.
Okay. If it's undead, then I deal 1d6 damage, and it must attempt a basic fort save. Which, if it fails, it also takes a -2 status penalty to AC for 1 round.
Okay, as you release Lay on Hands, I'm just checking something here. As you release Lay on Hands, the spell finds no purchase. It doesn't seem to have harmed or healed this creature.
Okay.
Just checking something.
Ray fucking purchase.
And actually, because the spell targets a willing living creature or one undead creature, the spell had no target, so it wasn't cast.
Okay, so I keep my focus point.
You do.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, good. Right.
And yeah, you can probably also come to the conclusion that this is neither a living creature nor an undead creature.
Okay, I think it's a construct. Right. I have one action left, don't I?
Yes. Actually, do you? Because the jump, I think, was an action.
Oh, is it? Right, okay. If the jump counts as the action, then yeah, that's my 3.
How many actions was the slight molestation? Just
we'll
one.
call that free action. But yeah, either way, that's the end of your turn, Orwin. So it's back round to the doll. And much the same as last time, the doll kind of floats down 10 feet. Goes to stab you this time, Orwin, with its dagger. 17 to hit.
No.
Okay.
No. Strength of the armour.
It sort of thrusts down, and you just get a hard part of your armour in the way just in time. A little bit frustrated. If a doll can express such an emotion, it's going to thrust at you again, Orwin. That is a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
Ooh, okay, you take 5 points of cold damage.
Okay.
And I need you to give me a fortitude save, please.
Okay. Remember, I get +2 against spells.
This is not a spell.
Not a spell. Okay. Fortitude, you say?
Yes.
25.
Oh yeah, you are so fine. It's not even funny. You feel this cold sensation spreading across your body, and you just you kind of lightly rub the area until it warms up.
I sense this disappointment in your voice there, Dom.
A little bit. But yeah. Okay, that's the end of its turn. It has not moved back up 10 feet, so we're back round to Brother Amos.
Flurry of blows. I'm going to punch it.
Okay, roll your attacks.
If I can. Where are I? 16 for the first one.
Is a miss.
12 for the second.
Yeah, the first strike, you do manage to hit it, but you don't put your force into it, and there's a slight ringing sound as you hit the porcelain skin of this creature. Catches you a little bit off guard, and then your second swing goes wide. You still have 2 actions remaining.
I will try again.
Okay.
18.
It is a miss, unfortunately.
That's a miss as well. 15.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just a bit too quick for you, Brother Amos. Sort of nimbly dodging out of the way of your strikes. But that is the end. Is that the end of your turn?
I think I've got one action left.
You have. That's correct.
With which I will ready my crossbow.
Sure. So take out your crossbow, and yeah, we'll get ready to use it next turn. We're around to Lady Argentia. Seeing that it's kind of come down to a height that she can hit, she drops her crossbow. 5, rushes over next to you, Brother Amos, as she draws her sword, and with a mighty battle cry of "Ah! Take this, you creepy little bitch!" And she swings down with her longsword towards it. Gets a glancing blow with the sword. Oh, not such a glancing blow, actually. You see, she actually hacks into it, and one of the doll's arms shatters and falls off. But it is still up and fighting. So for her last action, she's going to take another swing. And yeah, this time the doll kind of sees it coming and just whooshes harmlessly out of the way. That's the end of her turn. Otto.
I will try another acid splash. Now
Okay.
that it's moved closer into range.
It has, because it's now kind of on the same level as everyone else. You are going to hit Olwyn, Brother Amos, and Lady Argentia.
In that case, I will stay my hand. Perhaps I will load and shoot my crossbow.
Okay.
Which is 18.
18 is not enough to hit. Like this, for as kind of tiny and fragile as this thing looks, yeah, it's proving surprisingly hard to pin down.
Then I will reload for my final go.
Okay. End of Otto's turn. It's 10 penny. Another volley of crossbow shots come in. So you see one strikes the doll in the chest, and it's really starting to look like it's flaking to pieces now, but it still does not go down. But the second bolt just kind of streaks off again into the forest. Olwyn.
Right, as I'm right up next to it, going to drop the longbow. Left the rapier back there, so I'm going to draw the spear with my first action.
Okay.
I'm going to jab at it with the second action. 20. Dirty 20.
Is exactly what you need to hit. Roll your damage.
Ooh, right. 5 points of damage.
Olwyn, tell me how you finish it off.
So seeing the cracks and seeing the spear head, jam it into a crack, then twist to split the crack.
You do so as the doll is kind of flying around dodging Tenpenny's bolts. You thrust in with a spear as its attention is diverted. The spear catches just on the crack in the chest cavity, and I like to imagine with a grin, Olwyn sort of looks it dead in the eyes, twists the spear, and the doll shatters into pieces. And that is where we're going to leave it for that session, folks.
Oh, thank you very much. Ah, creepy doll.
Hit stuff.
Tales from the 20 Side is a Feagle Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com. Editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.